It's really exciting. This is James Tastard, Executive Coach and CEO of High Performance Network, and I have the pleasure of being with Raymond Carlsen, who is the CEO of Scatec Solar here in Oslo, Norway. This is part of our ongoing leadership series, and Raymond has allowed me to come and visit him and his executive management team to have discussions on business updates and the exciting solar energy market. So I'd like to introduce Scatec Solar and Raymond, and I've got his overview here. Scatec Solar is an integrated, independent solar power producer, delivering affordable, rapidly deployable, and sustainable source of clean energy worldwide. As a long-term player, Scatec Solar develops, builds, owns, operates, and maintains solar power plants around the world, and already has an installation track record of close to 1,000 megawatts, plus a pipeline of around 4,000 megawatts. Mr. Carlsen joined Scatec Solar in October 2009. Before that, he was partner and responsible for developing Aker ASA's portfolio of energy-related businesses here in Oslo. Aker ASA is the holding company for several oil and gas-related businesses, including Aker Solutions. Raymond was also responsible for Aker Solutions' subsea business, which was a US $2 billion revenue business with over 5,000 employees and operations in more than 15 countries. Mr. Carlsen has extensive international experience through assignments in the US, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, and South Africa, and is a director on a number of boards. Raymond earned his Master's of Science at the Florida Institute of Technology, and that was in 1981, and I believe it was Master's of Environmental Science.
Correct.
Fantastic. Well, welcome, Raymond, and we've got our audience here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about your leadership experiences and the lessons that you've learned and some insights that you can share with me and our audience for High Performance Network. So I'd like to start off, you know, a leader's experience starts with their first leadership opportunity. And can you share with us a leadership opportunity that was instrumental and really made a positive impact to you or a striking impact to you when you first started leading?
Well, James, I think there are many, but to mention, I guess, the first one, that was in 1985, 4 years after I graduated. I was offered the position as CEO in Reed Process Engineering, and I accepted. And I mean, it was kind of strange because all of a sudden you are, you know, the boss of your previous peers. But it went okay, and nobody quit, and I stayed on. Right. And since I'm at it, maybe I should mention the second one, and that was in 1991 when we decided as a family for me to take up a position in Malaysia. So that was my first hard-learned experience, you know, being exposed to new cultures.
So you've had, as I mentioned in your bio, you've had several international expatriate assignments. Maybe you can share with the audience, some of whom haven't had international assignments, you know, what's the experience like, and what are the unique challenges for a leader in an international assignment versus in their home base?
I think if I'd done it all over again, I would have done a lot of things differently, at least to begin with. I was a fairly successful guy in 91. You know, the appointment in 85, you know, really paid off, I think, for everybody. So I thought I had, not all, but I had a few things that would give me a fairly instant success. But then you learn that your culture isn't compatible with the culture that allows you to immediately work as efficiently as previously. So what I would have been doing different now, if I'd been there, you know, then in a situation like that, I would have asked for advice. I would have sought people that have had that experience to actually shortcut some of the hard-earned experiences that I gained.
You know, that's a very good insight. And earlier, Raymond allowed me to come in, and we had a nice free-flow conversation about leadership and the leadership that's developing today. And you know, in the past, leaders kind of were expected to just know what to do without training, without previous experience. You're the leader now. Lead.
Learn the hard way.
Learn, yeah. Throw in and start swimming. And if you can't swim, then you sink. And I think the modern leadership model, based on my research and speaking with other leaders, that's not really the way it's done anymore. And maybe you can move us fast forward to where we are today. You've been leading Scatec Solar in a very rapid, fast-moving market, very changing dynamics in solar energy. Maybe you can share with us a little bit of the marketplace, and then how you as a leader and your leadership team have had to deal with those changes.
Yeah, it has been an interesting development. Of course, joining this company in 2009, I had a lot of experience. I had a lot of successes. Of course, you all have some failures. But you, at the end of the day, you bring with you experience that you think you could put into life in a new environment, which I did. Like the matrix organization, think that this will grow quickly, like a strategy process that will give you sort of a pretty good overview of where you're going to head for the next 3 to 5 years. And what happened the first couple of years was that, 2 months into the new year, I had to revise the strategy. And you did that for 2 years and thinking, what is this? This is very different, so we have to do something differently, I think. So we pulled back and said, okay, we need to make a continuous strategy process where we actually just discuss strategic aspects in every management meeting. And also, that had an organizational effect, because you then have to design an organization that is also adapted to a rapid change.
So it's interesting. So your 5-year strategic model that you were used to previously was too slow. It was too static. And that makes me think through some of our earlier discussions about leadership. You've got a very young organization. You mentioned that the average age is around 37 years.
That's correct.
And they're spread out geographically. This is head office, and there's a lot that goes on here, but it's actually a small part of the company.
We don't have a home market.
There's no home market in Norway, where there's lots of sun sometimes, but not every day. So with that, can you share with me and the audience about what are you doing to provide feedback to your employees, guidance, coaching, and really to keep the company aligned when you're so dispersed and you have such a rapid environment and marketplace?
I guess before I answer that, I would look at how you actually design a company, because rapid expansion and the success of rapid expansion always have to be matched to the risk that you're taking, your ability to control that. And what I've learned is that not everything is in the head of me or with the cultural background that I have. So what we have designed is a company that is multicultural, multinational in terms of people that are working here, so that we are de-risking some of these opportunities even before we have started developing them. So that's important. And then, of course, at the bottom of that, we have developed a set of values that is guiding us, that can be understood and translated into any culture and every culture that is within our market reach. And once you have established that, you have already a platform that can be used as a basis for developing and communicating the future. And of course, we're using modern media. We have town hall meetings every so often, connecting absolutely everybody, so that everybody hear the same thing and can build on that.
So how many countries is Scatec Solar currently operating with people and assets and that sort of thing?
I think we're approaching 15 countries right now.
15 countries.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have people from 35 different nationalities, and remember, we're not more than 300 people.
Wow.
So this is an extremely international company.
So for the benefit of the audience, my understanding is it's a publicly listed company in the Oslo Borax. Can you share with the audience the rapid growth financially of what you started with and where it is today?
Yeah, I mean, I think the company was priced at $15 million in 2010, and the market cap right now is $1,100 million. So we have had a rapid development.
Wow. So just over $1 billion in 9 years growth. And you only have 300 employees? Fantastic. That brings up, some interesting elements. So many of your employees are actual hands-on leaders, and they're delivering very large, very complex programs, projects, and dealing with regulatory, dealing with governments, dealing with local communities. Is there anything in particular that you ask your leaders to do that's related to community service, or how do you engage your local communities and the local employees that you recruit in these local international areas?
That's quite a few questions in one there. I shall put it, I mean, you know, we are a company that is focusing on sustainability. I mean, just producing electricity from the sun gives you an advantage, but nevertheless, I mean, we start a project very early. I mean, they are very local, some of these tribes that are out there, I mean, they've seen a solar project for the first time. So we interface with them and we help them build schools, you know, drill wells and do a lot of stuff. And that we don't only do to be nice, I mean, we're nice people, but we also do it to reduce the risk, because it's a risk connected with that.
Right. So I think it's amazing. You have, and one of the things that I really liked when I came into your building yesterday and again this morning is you've got your Scatec Solar logo and the company name, and underneath it you have your vision, bold and upfront, and it's improving our future. Wow, that is aspirational. And how does that fit with your sustainable, you're building community connections, you're working with international finance, and has that vision helped you with this growth, this fantastic growth that you've seen?
I think it's as relevant today as it was when we developed this in 2010. Wow. I mean, it's not only external, improving the future, it's actually internal. I mean, improving the working environment, relationships, you know, the ability for people to learn, interface, enjoy themselves, you know, including their extended families. And I just want to mention one more thing when we talked about 300 people. We're not only selling software, we're actually building plants around the world on the ground. So that means that we have another attribute that we value, and it's absolutely essential for our success, and that's partnerships. So right now we are constructing close to 800 million of projects at 4 continents. We have 8,000 people, you know, employed or working for us on those projects, and we are rolling out execution models that are to our liking and our quality level in all corners of the world. And a lot of these people that work for us are unskilled workers. So of course HSSC, to the same standards that I'm used to and you're used to from the oil and gas business, is there. And maybe this is a bit of luck, I don't know, but our lost time index is less than 1, wow, which is, in oil and gas terms, is quite good, I would say.
Yes, that's fantastic. And what do you see as the future? What do you plan on doing for leadership and bringing this very young, high-tech workforce to grow and learn and develop?
I mean, first you have to have an opinion about the future as a leader, right? And if you rewind 5 years and my view of 2019, I would have never guessed in 2014 where we were going to be today. And I'm just thinking in 2024, am I going to say the same? Hopefully not as much, but maybe yes, or maybe more, who knows? Wow. So once you have that in place, then you have to design an organization that is, you know, light-footed, agile enough to be able to tackle some of the opportunities that you don't see, some of the challenges that you don't see. But of course, at the bottom, you have to have a sound business that allows you and gives you the financial flexibility to actually develop new opportunities as they pass along. Because renewable energy, the energy business, as you know, is going through the biggest ever transformation that the industry has seen. And hopefully what's at the end of this is going to be better for everybody. Fantastic. And we would like to participate in that transformation.
That's fantastic. Well, it definitely looks like you're well on your way with great growth, revenue projections, valuations. So the next question is really kind of interesting, really at the heart of High Performance Network and our Leadership Development Network. You hire leaders, and your leaders hire the talents for the organization. Can you share with us what you look for in a leader when you are evaluating them for a leadership position?
I mean, there are many things. Your cultural background, ability to seek advice, being humble, having a background also in terms of sort of educational background or exposure throughout their career that matches what we see as important attributes to success. There are many things. I mean, but I think the emotional aspect is extremely important. But I mean, there is not a perfect match. There never is. And since we're doing so many trades here, we need many different people. I mean, we are developing in many different parts of the world. We're building in many different parts of the world. I mean, construction experience, project execution experience. But we also do financial modeling. We optimize cash flows. We do operation maintenance, and we act as an owner because we are a long-term owner as well. So we are what used to be my customers in the past. We are the customer too. So it's a multiple interface that has to be managed at all times, and we have to do that in an open manner because in all levels we have partners that have to be taken care of as if this was their own share only.
Right. So what I'm hearing, Raymond, and also leveraging some of our earlier discussions, you've got different business elements, you've got different stakeholders, you've got different priorities that match and meet those different business needs. And so, yeah, I think one of the most important insights that I got is that leadership needs to be agile with the business, and you need to be able to adapt and mold and take advantages of the marketplace as those come about.
We're trying to get people that are so comfortable with change that they prefer change rather than stagnation. Because, I mean, if you're not looking for change or looking for opportunities that is going to add something new, you're going to be left behind.
You know, one of your values is really quite interesting, and I think you just hit it on the nail, is change makers. Can you share with us what change makers means to Scatec Solar and to you and your leaders?
We have a fifth value to a certain extent that has come up. It's not written down, and it says never give up. And you know, to be able to never give up and find a solution, you have to think out of the box. You have to look for other solutions that are giving you a result that is adding value to the business.
Sounds like a complementary, evolving value that has presented itself. Raymond, thank you very much for the opportunity, and it was great insight. It was great to visit Oslo, and in particular spend all this time yesterday and today with Scatec Solar. So I wish you continued success and
Thank you very much.
yours in leadership. Thank you so much, Raymond.